It's late, and for some reason, your brain decides to reopen a conversation that ended hours ago, maybe days ago, and suddenly, you're back in it, replaying what you said, what they said, what you should have said, again and again and again. And no matter how many times you run it back, nothing changes. So why can't you stop? Here's the part most people don't realize. You're not overthinking. You're trying to finish something your brain thinks is incomplete. A conversation ends, but inside you, it doesn't. Not really, because something about it feels off, unclear, unresolved, maybe even a little threatening. And your brain hates unfinished things. There's a psychological principle called the Zeigarnik effect. It was discovered by Bluma Zeigarnik, who noticed something strange. People remember unfinished tasks far better than completed ones. Your brain keeps open loops, open, until they feel resolved. So when a conversation doesn't go the way you expected, your brain treats it like an unfinished file, and it keeps reopening it, trying to close it. But here's where it gets deeper, because not everyone replays conversations the same way. For some people, the loop is louder, sharper, more emotional, and that usually connects to something called anxious attachment. If your brain learned early on that approval can be lost, people can pull away, saying the wrong thing has consequences, then your nervous system adapts. It becomes watchful. So after every interaction, it runs a check. Did I mess up? Did they notice something? Did I lose something just now? The replay isn't just memory, it's self-protection. And this is important. There is nothing broken about you. You're not too sensitive. You're not too much. You're someone whose brain takes connection seriously. And from an evolutionary perspective, that's exactly how it's supposed to work. Because for most of human history, being rejected didn't just hurt, it was dangerous. So your brain evolved to monitor social interactions closely, to analyze, to learn, to prepare. But here's the problem. What once helped you survive now traps you in loops. Let's go one layer deeper. Inside your brain, there's a small structure called the amygdala. It's your emotional alarm system. Whenever something feels socially important, embarrassment, tension, uncertainty, the amygdala flags it. It basically says, this matters, don't forget this. And those flagged moments, they don't just fade away, they stay active. Later, when your mind is quiet, in the shower, driving, lying in bed, another system takes over. Your brain's default mode network, the part responsible for thinking about yourself, your past, your relationships. And what does it search for? Not random thoughts, but unresolved, emotionally charged ones. So it finds the conversation, reopens it, and starts running it again. Because your brain believes, if I think about this enough, I'll finally get it right. But here's the truth. Rumination doesn't solve the problem, it just repeats it. More thinking without new thinking. So how do you actually stop the loop? Not by forcing it away. That doesn't work. You stop it by giving your brain what it's actually looking for. Next time you catch yourself replaying something, don't ask, what did I do wrong? Ask, what does this moment feel like it needed? Because behind every mental loop, there's a need. Approval, understanding, safety, closure. When you name the need, something shifts. Because your brain isn't trying to torture you. It's trying to resolve something it doesn't fully understand. Another thing to notice, most of these loops are built on assumptions. You think you know what they were thinking. You think you know how you came across, but you don't. In psychology, this is called mind reading, a cognitive distortion where your brain fills in the gaps, usually with the worst case version. So try this. Add one word, probably. They probably thought I was awkward. They probably noticed. That word creates space, because probably is not truth, it's a guess, and guesses can be wrong. Now, here's something powerful. Your brain doesn't always need perfect closure. It just needs some closure. So instead of replaying endlessly, give it a closing statement. Something simple, honest. The conversation is over. I've thought about what I needed to. I'm choosing to let this go. This isn't avoidance. It's a signal to your nervous system that the file can be closed And if the loop still feels strong, get it out of your head. Write it down. Research shows that putting thoughts into words helps regulate emotional intensity because you're moving it from raw emotion into structured meaning, and that calms the system. Here's the simplest way to understand all of this. Your mind is like a river. Thoughts are leaves floating on the surface. Most pass by without you noticing, but some get caught in a small current, an eddy. They spin and spin and spin. A replayed conversation is a leaf stuck in that loop. It formed because something felt unfinished. Something felt important. You can't stop leaves from falling, but you can learn how to release them by understanding the loop, naming the need, creating closure. The goal isn't to stop thinking. It's to stop getting stuck, because you are not the loop. You are the awareness noticing it. You replay conversations because connection matters to you, because you care how you show up, because some part of you still wants to be understood. That's not weakness. That's depth. The conversation may be over, but you're still here, and that means the next one can be different. If this made you pause for a second, sit with that. Some thoughts aren't meant to be rushed past.